Hey, this is Belinda with Willow, Birch, and Clover, and I've got another journal to share this evening. This one is called Child in Verse, and I'll show you why when we go inside. But I did, this is a hardcover book. I made a new spine for it. On the cover, there's a little girl with some dictionary page here and vintage button trim on the side. There's cheesecloth behind the little girl there. This is the spine that I had to make because the book was 2 covers, no spine. But it has vintage fabric on it, and that's the back of the book. I haven't made a book like this in quite some time. I used lots of my gesso, and I'll tell you before I go inside, each page is coffee stained, inked, gessoed, signature stamped, script stamped. I did everything I could think of. So I really enjoyed making this one. I made it grungy, like I used to make my journals. On my paper clips, there's some sorry ribbon tied up there. And there is a seam binding tie closure double there. When we go inside, on the inside front pocket, I used this fabric covered and script stamped. There's a book page pocket with a couple of tags and a piece of sheet music, the Star Spangled Banner in there, and you can certainly write on the back of that. But on the trim of the pocket, there's some of that fabric and some cheesecloth and laces, and it's over a crocheted piece here. And on the first page, there's some fabric trim there, and this is a vintage little boy image that I have paper clipped on. All the paper clips are rusted, and you can see the gesso and the script stamping and coffee stain and inking. This is a little fabric half moon pocket with lace and cheesecloth and pearls, and it has a little tag that is dictionary page that I sewed around, and on one side I gessoed so that you could write, and that just tucks in there for you. And there's some dictionary page just added to the page there for interest. And this is an image with some child's verse on there. That's why the book is called Child in Verse. But if you'll notice, on the base of each one of the large pages, there's quilting scraps. So it is fabric on all the pages against the spine there, if you can see it, and it's all vintage quilt. There's some more script stamping. Here's this old man pinned to this page. There's some vintage quilt. And you can see under here's your grunginess to write on. Little page there. Another page with some dictionary page on it. In the center, you can really see the quilt fabric and where I've sewn in the signatures. And there's 2 little girls hugging there on that grungy page. Lots of gesso and stamping. Another verse fabric there. And this is, excuse me there, my glue didn't dry. This is fabric and cheesecloth and pearls, and it lifts up, and I've put you another one of those tags in there. You can certainly add more. Another little grungy page, and this is just a little stack of pages for extra writing that are put on with a brad on this grungy page. You can see the fabric trim there. And there's a little girl fairy under that paper clip, and more quilting fabric and gesso over the ink and coffee stain and script stamping, heavy script stamping in this one. There's 2 little fairy girls there, and some crochet trim on this page. More quilting fabric. It's like that all the way through on every page. Quilting fabric on the base, fabric sewn on the edge of that one. Lots of delicious grunginess. That's a vintage little girl and her dolly. Dictionary page on there. This is another little half moon fabric pocket, and it has lace and cheesecloth and some little pearls. And there's the tag for you that's gessoed so that you can just tuck it back in there. This is Skip to Maloo, child's song. You can see the quilting there. And this is another child's verse pinned on there. Another little partial page to write on. There are I believe 84 or either 86 pages in this book. And that's not counting all the tags and the little flip book in there. That's another little vintage child. Lace trim on there, quilting fabric. I love the grunginess of it. Quilting fabric there. There's some dictionary page added to that page. And this is muslin on the outside. And there's a child dressed as a candle. And I loved this quilting fabric too, that pretty blue. I love that. Here's a book page pocket, and it has another tag in there for you with the gesso on it. But it has several kinds of laces and the vintage fabric and cheesecloth and the pearl bling there. And there's another little verse on this page with some eyelet and dictionary page on there for you. There's the song Hickory Dickory Dock. It's pinned on. It's a grungy page. There's another little girl peeping out from behind a door. There's some more of that quilt fabric I love. And there's the center of this last signature. It's 3 signatures. More quilt fabric. And this is a little verse about a birdie. Another page with the fabric. And there's a little girl and her dolly on a page with a dictionary page. And there's another flip book. There's a couple of these in there, so you have lots of extra writing room. And dictionary page. You can see all the gesso and inking and grungy. And on the inside of the back cover is another book page pocket with a couple of those tags I made in there for you. And there is the crocheted piece with cheesecloth, pearls, strings, and the vintage fabric. And again, that's the back of the book. Oh goodness, I'm picking up stuff everywhere. Because I'm telling you, I got messy making this one. So I'm gonna have this one on my Etsy shop. Like I said, it is delicious grungy. I haven't made one like this in 8 or 9 months, and I was due a dirty grungy book. So I hope that you like it. It's called Child in Verse, and if you're interested, take a look. Thank you. Bye-bye.